Let us turn very quickly to Galatians, the 6th chapter, verses 7 through 10. Galatians, the 6th chapter, verses 7 through 10. When you found it, let us say amen.
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 AJ, I'm going to lead you in a few minutes. Okay? Amen. Galatians 6 and 10, 6, 7 through 10 states in the NIV, do not be deceived, God is not mocked. A man reaps what he sows.
Yes.
Whoever sows to please their flesh, from the flesh will reap destruction. Whoever sows to the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life. Let us not become weary in doing good. At the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong to the family of believers.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
As I was studying pretty much all week, I had something in mind that I wanted to begin to do a series on the book of Romans, and then we go on and go on. But it was something resonated in my spirit this morning. I had a conversation with someone this week, and the conversation that I had was not disturbing, but it was revealing. Revealing enough for me to give it some more thought and some more thought. And the revelation I got is sometimes others don't know how to differentiate certain things that has actually happened to them in their lives that connects to God's purpose or connects to their doing. Now, I'm going to say it again. As to it relates their connection in terms of their purpose, or is something that they are doing that is causing a particular and certain outcome. Understand this. Laws are put in place for governing purposes. God is governed by the laws that he put in place. And because he put these laws in place, conditions does not change his governing purposes. Condition states the reason why I put the law in place in the first place.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And so there's a law that Newton has discovered, and that's the law of gravity. They have this formula, F equals G. You got M1, M2, then a line drawn through it, then R2 at the bottom. And each one of them have a particular function. Amen? And let me show you. F is a gravitational force acting between two objects. M1 and M2 are the masses of the objects. R is the distance between the center of their masses. And G is a gravitational constant. Right? Where's AJ? All right. I got this thing in my hand. I got this particular object in my hand. Now, if I drop it, it falls. Say it again. If I drop it, it falls. Right? Now, the force of its falling has a lot to do with the mass that it is, as well as what it is being drawn to. If it were heavier, it would fall even faster.
Yes.
That's a law. Right? And because it's a law, the only thing that is going to stop it from hitting the floor is AJ.
All right now.
Can I get somewhere?
Yes. Yes.
Meaning the only exception to what has happened is it didn't fall as low because something intercepted it.
Yes. My Lord.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord. Yes, Lord.
What we're going to have to understand in this day and time that we're living in is that God has put some particular things in place that no matter what the condition is,
All right now.
it does not change the governing principles of it. Can I get some?
Yes.
So the question is constantly asked in the epidemic in which we are facing right now, where is God? And I said, I'm going to show you where God is.
Yes.
God is still the God that he is. And the principles and the laws are still in place.
Yes, they are.
And they're only intercepted by somebody else's ignorance of who God really is.
Yes, say it again.
Oh, God.
Yes, Lord.
And so that means when you look at a condition, you have to look at cause, and effect.
Yes.
Notice what I said. Causes and effects. The causes is not God who brought the causes. It's man who didn't understand the laws.
Yes.
Can I get somebody?
All right now.
They're asking us now to make sure that we clean ourselves up before we go out. That ain't a new law. That is something that should have been practiced from the beginning.
Yes.
And man can't put on God what man has caused.
Come on now.
All right now.
Again, we don't like to deal with it, but if I have hypertension and I go to the doctor and the doctor tells me, now Jimmy, what you got to stop doing is you got to stop the causes that's causing this effect.
All right now.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Now, if I go and the doctor says I need to stop the cause, but yet I continue the cause, but I say I got prayer, I'm going to pray that God will ban this sickness of mine and this disease of mine so that I can live normal. Failing to realize that what you've already put in the body, that it is causing the attention that you put on the hypertension in the first place, even from a hereditary standpoint.
Yes.
Right? So that means if I go to the doctor and I continue to practice what the doctor tells me not to practice, and I get sick as a result of it, and now I'm not healed as a result of it, and now I'm saying God is not healing me, and God says, first of all, let's look at my law that I put in place, and let's look at the cause and the effect.
Yes. Yes.
And when I look at the cause and effect, if I continue to practice a particular standard of living and I reap as a result of my sowing, then it's nothing wrong with God. All of the problem falls on me.
Yes.
Now, some would even have the audacity to say, why God doing this to me? No, principles and laws are doing that to you. And that's what he's governed by. And get this, Tracy. This is what God showed me. He says the only way that I will interrupt a cause and a principle and effect is because it is not something that will affect the one. If the one thing will affect the many, I can change a condition or a law to affect the millions, but I still won't change the law that I put in place. Get this, why? Because I can protect 1 million and may save 1 million, but lose 10 million in the process. So I cannot completely change the law based on a cause. I have to keep the law in place, not unless the cause will benefit me. God.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I wish I had somebody to say.
Yes. Yes.
And so what we don't get, even with the epidemic that is going on, even if we go back to Egypt, the plagues fell on Egypt because of Egypt, not because of God,
That's right.
because of Egypt.
Yes.
And when Egypt does what Egypt always do, Egypt gonna get what Egypt always got. It's just gonna come in different forms.
That's all. Yes.
And now people are gonna have the audacity to say, God caused this. I say man caused this. And because man don't want to take responsibility, man puts the cause on God.
That's right. That's right.
Because get this, my sisters and mothers, if I put the cause on somebody else, then I myself don't have to take responsibility.
That's right.
And most people, if we are not careful, we want to ignore the laws because we don't want to do what we're supposed to do.
That's it. Yes.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
When we fail to realize that if God is working in the law, that means God is in the law that he's actually given.
Yes.
The laws that he's given. Now let's differentiate what we're talking about when it comes to some laws. This is the conversation I heard on the other day. I'm going to leave the church simply because I'm not getting the results from the church. Right? And I looked at this person, and they done had about 10 different jobs in a short time. Right? And they said, if God was so much, why am I getting all of this flack and all of these conditions and all of this situation? I said, let's stop. Let's look at your practices.
Yes.
That determines your cause and effect.
Yes.
Okay, right. If you were supposed to be a certain place at a certain time that was asked to you on a consistent basis, and you never showed up on time, and you get let go as a result of you not showing up on time, what governs? The law, what was in place. And because you violated the law that was in place, the results of your violation was your effect. Right?
Yes.
Now, this is the ignorant part of that. Now I'm blaming God. How can I blame God for something that I constantly practice? No. Where's AJ? No. This is what happened. What am I doing? What am I trying? What's taking effect? The laws of gravity. Right? So if the laws of gravity are taking place, meaning the laws of God are constantly in place to govern behaviors, to see if the behavior is governed by the person or governed by the one who put the purpose and the thing and the law in place.
Yes.
God be not. Let's look at what was Galatians 6 and 7 say. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. Talked about.
Yes.
Woo. Or blamed. Right? A man reaps what he sows.
Yes.
Now, you can still have God. Right? You can still have the things of God. However, God is governed by the laws that he put in place. And when he put those laws in place, they were for reasons. Just like when a couple of months ago, I left one job and went to the other. And Rod, this is what was said when I walked out. If you need to ever come back to this job, all you have to do is say the word. Right? What just took place? There was a law that was put in place by the person who made me that promise. Right? And so, when I needed to exercise it, I remembered the law that he put in me, and so I exercised the law. And when I exercised the law and said, can I have my job back? He said, when do you want to start?
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Oh, God, get this. The only reason he put that law in place when it concerned me was my practice before he gave me the law.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right? If I exercise and practice being on time,
Yes.
doing what I'm asked to do,
Yes.
following the rules, hello somebody, when I did all of those things, the principles of what was in him met up with the practices that was in me.
Yes. Yes.
And when those practices met up, that means that all I had to do now was take advantage of the law that was given me, and there was no questions asked because the principles and the practices lined up with the law that was put in place. Does that make sense?
Yes, Lord.
And so, if I wasn't, like I've seen some other employees left, they were not given that same law. Why? Because they needed a principle to get rid of them so that they would not have to continue to deal with them, because they are not governed by the laws of this job. They're only governed by the laws of their minds and what they think. Right? I can't go on somebody else's job and change it based on what I feel. Because it's not just about me when it's more than one employee.
Yes.
Right? If it's 12 employees, why would I make the law just for one? If I make it just for one, what do I do to the other 11?
All right now.
So that has to be a practice that's for all 12. And if you violate what has actually been put in place, then what you have to do is you fall under the consequences of violating that law.
Yes, sir.
Does that make any sense? So when God makes you a promise, the first thing he's going to look at in bringing that promise to pass is, did you and do you fall in line with my law? And if you don't fall in line with the laws that I put in place, then guess what? Though I abide with you faithful, I will not deny myself. Does that make sense?
Amen.
So what people have to stop doing is blaming God for some of their hard times. Why? Because if you blame God, what happens? You don't take responsibility for your actions. You put it on God. Go back to the question I was asking, people are asking today. Where is God in all of this? I say God is still in place. It is the practices of man that have put us in this state of where we are right now, and now people are running crazily scared. Now, I I do say this, and I'm not crazy. Should you practice some of these things that are in place? Yes, you should. I'm not telling you not to practice them. But I am telling you that these are some things that you should have practiced anyway. I tell people all the time. We touch stuff all the time. People get flu all the time, right?
Yes, sir.
All
the time.
of the time. Why?
Because it's not.
It's not only just the touch. It is actually coming out of people's systems. And if they're sneezing, if they're coughing, if they're doing all these things. So it can be airborne. This other may not be airborne. Right? So I'm not talking about just the cause and the effects of what is happening in terms of this epidemic. Now I'm looking at our personal lives of things that we're constantly dealing with that we really don't have to deal with. But if we keep on going against the laws that are in place, we're going to continue to deal with what we've always dealt with. Sometimes, people, it ain't the attitudes of others that we need to check. It is our own attitude. Can I get somebody?
Yes, sir.
To your own self be what?
True.
Say it again. To your own self be
True.
See that woman right there? I love her with everything in me. You know why? It's because of what I see in her. I witnessed something last evening that I know God has blessed my wife to do. Amen. And I ain't got to go into it. I respect her highly. Because when you don't know your weakness, right? You would always call your weaknesses your strength because of what you can do versus what you can take. I want to say that again. Some stuff, it ain't about us dishing it out. Most stuff is about us learning how to take some stuff. A man can call you a name all day long. But until you accept that name and read in your mind what that name represents, can I get somebody? Then you're going to react based on sometimes the ignorance of somebody and sometimes the knowledge of somebody. In other words, a person who has the upper hand tries to appeal to your weaknesses so that they can actually gain power over you. Does that make any sense? So if I know, George, that the area of your weakness is me pulling out that scarf that you have in your pocket, and I go now to attempt to pull the scarf, what are you going to do?
Resist.
You're going to resist. You're going to do this.
Yeah.
But if I notice that, what am I going to do?
All right now. All right now. Yes. Yes. Yes.
When you learn how to reject what the enemy is trying to tempt,
All right now.
you become governed by a different law.
Come on, Pastor. Come on now.
Does it make any sense? And when you're governed by the different law, now your strength is not in your resistance. Your strength now is in your standing in what has already been put in place to protect you.
Yes.
Does that make any sense?
Yes.
And if God says, I put even the dietary laws in place to protect you, and you keep on doing that, which can cause your body harm, then guess what? Your prayer should even be different. Your prayer should be, don't deal with the harm that is coming to me. Deal with my practices so that they can deal with the harm that might come to me.
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
And so when it comes to even our faith in God, our faith should not be something that we say. It should be always something that we practice and something that we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I first came back here,
Yes, sir.
there's a law and principle in place when it comes to sales. Is that you have to build up a clientele list in order for you to maintain what you just had and what you just left. And when I came here, I had to start over. So guess what? I didn't complain because I had to start over in the meekness that I had from the beginning, Because I knew in my heart and in my mind that if I continue to practice what I used to practice, then what I had before, I can have that and even more if I am consistent.
Yes.
Now, oftentimes, the problem is consistency. When you don't get what you want overnight, you stop trying. Does that make any sense? And if you stop trying, whose fault is it? Is it the law's fault? No. The law is put in place to govern.
Yes.
Is it somebody else's fault? No. Somebody else can do something to you as long as you allow them to do it.
Yes.
In other words, they have to have permission to even overpower you and overtake you. Especially if you have the power to stop them from doing it. And not by what you say, it's by what you practice. And that's something that you do. If you're a person that always fly off the handle when it's time for you to, when you are tested, what do you practice? Stop flying off the handle. And what does God do? What does God do? God can put you constantly in positions. No, let me put it like this. God can allow you to be put in positions where you are constantly tested so that your weakness will no longer be a weakness, your weakness will become a strength.
Yes.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If I lift weights, of course now I'm in withdrawal because we can't go to the gym, but I lift weights, and I noticed there was a time that I could only lift so much weight. But what did I constantly do? I constantly lift weight and edged up to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, and to the next level. A couple of times, right, I had to lift over 315 pounds. But guess what that was? That was, get this, that was not just raw determination. It had a lot to do with what I was putting in my body. What my practices was.
Yes.
And my wife knows that I have a handful of pills or whatever. If it's vitamins, if it's whatever, and certain things I try to eat in terms of salads or whatever, the more I put those things in my body, the more the food tells my muscles and my other tissues, oh, we can do this because I got something to draw from. However, if I eat everything I'm not supposed to eat all the time, never take any vitamins, never do anything, what's my body going to do? It's going to follow the laws and the principles that are in place. Because he said, even the word says, if I do certain things in my body, there's a cause and effect for it. And it's going to happen to me in my life. And what I can't do, my sisters and brothers, I can't blame God. And get this. How can we say God has put something in place to protect us and we continue to do stuff against it and still look for God's protection?
All right now.
He can't be governed by that. People live, can I get this? Can I help you on this? People live on exceptions. What is an exception? It is not a constant rule. It is just in case. Right? And I hear people say that by faith, I'm going to do this. By faith, God is going to do this. But there's no work put in. You know as well as I know, if you give somebody something consistently, they won't appreciate it. But if they have to work for it, there's a different appreciation. Right?
Yes, sir.
And they will protect it greater because they know the work that they had to put in to get it. That's why it's not so easy for some of us to get our money to some people.
Say it again.
Because they wait on us to get paid so that we can support their efforts of not putting forth effort. Does it make sense? Because I know she's going to give it to me. I know he's going to give it to me. But if you say, no, I'll give it to you if you. I'll give it to you if you.
Yes.
I'll give it to you Laws, principles are put in place for consistent practice, not for consistent disobedience. If your child is constantly disobeying, constant. Oh, yes. What happens to you after a while? You love them. You say, whoa, wait, son, daughter, come on now. We need to talk about this.
Enough is enough.
Nothing. Why? Because what you're doing, and this is what people fail to realize, punishment should never be given or used for vengeance. Punishment should be used for correction from a constructive perspective. That's how God deals with us. George, is God whipping my behind? I know why. I know why. Because he's saying, son, I put a law and a principle in place, and you keep on violating that law and that principle. So guess what? As a result of that law and that principle that is supposed to be protecting you, now it's going to be against you. Now it ain't gonna change. And guess what? I can cry until in the morning. Do you know that there are times, George, where tears don't even move God? Oh, Lord. Oh, God, this is happening. Oh. And you know what God doing? I'm looking at your practices. I'm looking at what you promised me, but you never did it. That's why I tell people, if you never understand the principle of sowing and reaping, then you're going to miss out on something. God put stuff in place from the beginning of time, and he wrote in the book of Genesis around 8:22, he says, as long as there is an earth, there will be seed time and harvest. If you sow your seed, you're going to reap your harvest. Some people sitting there wondering how they're so blessed in a certain area. Because they learn how to practice a principle. There are people that don't even know God, that are practicing some principles of us who supposed to know God, and they're reaping as a result of it. Why? Because God is not going to change a principle based on who the person is.
Yes, sir.
Even our community banks, in many cases, have to practice giving 10% of their revenue. They practice it. Do you know, I found out, Rob, that when I looked at certain banks had so many $1,000s that was allocated for community projects. That if you use it for that, then they have to give it. They put laws, they put principles, they put things in place to bless the community. Now, we know that there's some crookedness and some stuff. I ain't talking about the crookedness. I'm talking about the people who are doing it for the good, for the right reason.
Yes.
That's in place. Now, who we are in God, right? And we feel that when we are in need, what's the first thing we do? We start guarding what we have. I ain't gonna let this down, but I ain't gonna know when there's gonna be a rainy day. Okay, it's pouring now. There's a storm right now. So, I heard a preacher say this, and it makes sense. If you don't have enough to meet a need, make it a seed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Isn't that so? If you don't have enough to meet a need, make it a seed. And that's not just talking about money. How many people love people? How many people every now and then like to be around people? How many people know that if you don't show yourself friendly, people ain't gonna want to be around you? That's a law, that's a principle. I just stated that. You want people around you, but you're fussing everybody out when they do come. You know what love is? Love is understanding somebody else's weakness Even if I have, because I have strength, I can make their weaknesses a strength if I practice to understand their weakness. Wow. Because if my strength is going to make them better, then I can't just throw it at them. I got to ease. Hey, how you doing? Go back. Ease it over here. Hey, how you doing? Ease on that. Hey, how you doing? I'm okay. Ease on that. Notice, the okay could have been as rough as the herb, but the fact that they're talking now means that they're giving me ear. And then I say, hey, I'm doing good. Okay. And I go back, how you doing? I'm doing good. What you doing? How you doing? That right now sparks a conversation to say to me that they've allowed me into their space. And now that I'm into their space, now I still don't have to give them all the loaf of bread. I just tear off a little bit and give it to them. And the thing is, it doesn't matter how long it takes, because I am more prone for a result than I am for a self-satisfaction.
Come on, man.
That's right.
Come on.
And when we learn that, the Bible said that he that winneth souls is wise.
Yes, sir.
You have to learn how to lead people to God based on your practices and your genuine love. Let's look at us. How long did it take for us to get where we are right now? Some of us 40, 50, 60 years. Now, if it took us that long, why are we trying to make somebody where we are overnight?
Yes.
And the truth of the matter is, we ain't where we think we are
Sure enough.
until the test comes.
Yes.
And when that test comes, you sitting there screaming and hollering. God said, you ain't ready yet. I got to give you some more calisthenics. I got to give you some more diet, right diet. I got to give you a better understanding of who I am. But most important, sometimes in order for us to know God, we got to know who we are.
Yes.
And then we got to know our strengths and our weaknesses. Trust me, if we don't know, people know. Because they know exactly how you react when you put in certain situations. That's why I tell people all the time, our practices are more important than the words that we can give every now and then. People can hear what you say all day long, but when your works don't follow up, meet up with your words, they dismiss. How many know that? Everything that is said after but means what? Cancel out. I love you. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. But, and what do you do after you hear that but? Here we go.